Spending her day writing about a murder case is nothing new for Heather Polischuk. But now, the former journalist turned novelist is making the stories up.
I enjoy it for the fun aspect and just I love making up worlds. I love creating characters. I love putting them out into a book and seeing what they're going to do.
For more than 20 years, Polischuk worked as a court reporter for the Regina Leader-Post. This was basically her office, where she covered the full spectrum of the human experience, the best and the worst of humanity. All too often, the cases were disturbing.
Like if I had to cover a child abuse case, I knew I was going to be absolutely angry for 2 weeks after. Like I just knew because that was just my habit. I would cover child abuse, be angry for 2 weeks. If I was covering a really horrific murder trial, I knew I was going to be really unable to sleep. I would have, close my eyes and I would see those autopsy photos in my brain. I knew that was going to happen to me, so I could kind of go in prepared, but you're never really prepared at the same time.
She would often cope by channeling her energies into creative writing in her spare time, something she's loved doing since she was a child. In 2018, she self published her first crime fiction novel under the pen name H.P. Bain.
The feelings attached to those crimes, I mean, those were very real for me and sometimes could be hard to get my head around and to get my heart around, frankly. And so I would turn those often, just kind of take those feelings, take those thoughts, and give them to a character.
Polischuk grew up on a farm across from a cemetery, and she's always been fascinated by ghost stories. So her first series follows a private investigator who sees the ghosts of homicide victims.
And I thought, hey, that would be fun. I'll throw some ghosts into my crime fiction and just see what happens.
Just as Polischuk's love of fiction writing was growing stronger, her desire to work as a journalist was dimming, in part due to staff cuts, heavier demands, and what she found to be a more hostile environment.
I felt like basically as a crime reporter, I was used to dealing with threats and, nasty comments, nasty emails, like, people in my face. Occasionally even feeling a little physically threatened by somebody. You just deal with that. It rolls off your back in court a little bit. But it felt like that was happening more and more outside of court. And so that was starting to kind of weigh on me as well.
Having published 17 books already, she decided in May that it was time to quit her journalism job and focus on her writing career, something her readers will appreciate.
I think the best group of readers in the world. Like they're so supportive and just wonderful people. And, I just, they really, I mean, they keep me going in more ways than one. So yeah, as long as they're reading, I'm happy to keep writing.
Her paranormal crime stories, thankfully, born of her imagination. Bonnie Allen, CBC News.